In lesson 6, we're going to talk about parallel and perpendicular lines. Most of you know parallel lines are like railroad tracks. They are two lines that will never cross. They will have the same slope. For two lines to never cross, they need to be traveling at the same steepness. If I give you equation y equals 1/3 x plus 8, and I want you to write an equation for the line parallel to that, the only rule would be y equals 1/3 x. And this b term can be anything in the world but positive 8. If I put positive 8 there, it will be the exact same line, not parallel lines. So you could have negative 10. You could do y equals 1/3 x plus 1/2. Again, any number in the world will work there as long as it's not positive 8. The slopes need to be the same, so the steepness is the same. Perpendicular lines are two lines that cross, forming 4 right angles. So it looks like a plus sign. The rule for perpendicular slopes is twofold. One, they have to be opposite, meaning if one is positive, the other one is negative. It has to be the reciprocal. If I were to give you 3/4 as a slope, the reciprocal would be 4/3. If I gave you 1/2 as the slope, the reciprocal would be 2 or 2/1. They mean the same thing. Y equals 3x plus 1. To find the perpendicular, y equals, this one is positive, that needs to be negative. This is 3/1, so 1/3 x. The b term can be anything in the world. It could also be positive 1, but I'll put negative 8. The b can be anything. These have to be opposite reciprocals. So we're going to look at the first example. Write the slope-intercept form. Okay. So I'm looking for y equals mx plus b. Of the equation of a line that passes through this point, so there's my x and my y, and is, keyword, parallel to this graph. Okay, I like to take a minute until I become an expert and write some things I know. I know this ordered pair, 4, -2, of my second line. I'm going to call this line number 1. This will be my information for line number 2. What is my slope for line number 2 if it is parallel? Here's line number 1. This is the information I'm gathering about line number 2. What would have to be my slope for the parallel line? I'm hoping you said 1/2. You will not use anything else from that equation. You will never use that -7. I just needed the slope. It's parallel, so they need to have the same slope. Okay, this is like what we were learning the other day. I'll substitute that, so -2 equals 1/2 times 4 plus b, solving for b. Half of 4 is 2, subtract, I get -4 for the b. So the equation for line number 2, y equals 1/2 x minus 4. Remember, We don't use that ordered pair again. We just need the slope, the y-intercept. Line number 1 was given to me, y equals 1/2 x minus 7. We are going to cross off the problem at the bottom, so please cross it off, and turn to the next page. Okay, we're going to put a lot of information in this space. I gave you a lot of room to write, so don't write too large. Write the slope-intercept form. So this is what I'm kind of looking for, and I'll explain how I'm going to expand this. For the equation that passes through the point 4, -1, and is, this time, whoops, crazy marker, perpendicular to the graph 7x minus 2y. All right, so I'm going to call this line number 1. Until I become a real expert, I like to show all my work and my thoughts. Kind of right where I am. I'm going to show you what we're going to do. So I have 7x minus 2y equals 3. Well, what I really need from line number 1 is the slope. Well, I don't know what the slope is. This is standard form. So I'm going to start manipulating this equation to figure out the slope. I will subtract 7 from both sides, 7x, I mean. Negative 2y equals negative 7x plus 3. I do not want 2y, so I have to divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2. Y equals 7/2 x minus 3/2. Okay, this is all information from line 1. So when I think about line number 2, what I know is it passes through the point 4, -1. It is perpendicular to line number 1. So I want you to think. For perpendicular, we need opposite reciprocal. I'm giving you 7/2. That's positive. So the opposite is negative. Reciprocal 2/7. Okay. We are now done using that information. Again, continue to write small. We're going to start with point slope form. All of these will be used in your homework assignment and found on tests and quizzes, so we're going to practice. Well, I can fill that in rather easily because I have a point and I have the slope. So it would turn to y minus a -1, which we know is positive 1. Slope of negative 2/7 x minus 4. Point slope form. I have not arrived at the form I'm seeking yet. I'm going to continue on. Moving from point slope form, if I then distribute, I would have y plus 1 equals negative 2/7 x plus 4/7. Okay, I need to subtract 1 from both sides. Y equals negative 2/7 x. I'm kind of thinking about common denominators, so that would be 4/7. That'd be negative 7/7. I end at negative. I think I did some math wrong. This would not be a 4 in the numerator. If you caught that a minute ago, bravo. This really should be an 8. 8/7. Ooh, sorry about that, but I'm glad I caught it now. Okay, so 8/7 minus 7/7 leaves me with a positive 1/7. Phew, that was harder than it needed to be. My apologies. Okay, So now we have slope-intercept form, which is what they asked for, but we're going to continue to practice, and I'm going to change that into standard form. Okay, I'm just going to rewrite it because I like to have my work together. To do this, I'm going to add 2/7 x, add 2/7 x. We need to get x's on the left. 2/7 x plus y equals 1/7. The rule for standard form, a has to be positive, check. No fractions allowed, so I need to multiply by 7. That's my denominator. 2x plus 7y equals 7. That will get me to standard form. Take a moment, back the video up. Even though I did a little computation error here, I want you to review the steps we did to go from point slope form, slope intercept form, and standard form. Please pause the video, or don't pause the video, rewind the video and watch this one again. Thank you to everyone who paused the video and rewatched that. We're going to move and do one more together, and then I'm going to have you try a few by yourself. I realize the video is getting a little long. Write the slope-intercept form, but I'm going to have you do all three forms again, of an equation of a line perpendicular, so I know my slope needs to be opposite reciprocal, to the graph of this passing through this point. Ooh, but I'm going to try to pay attention to what I have going on here. Again, I'm going to label my line. So I have line number 1, 2y plus 5x equals 2. What do I need from line number 1 so that I can write the equation of line number 2? I need the slope. I'll subtract 5x from both sides. So 2y equals negative 5x plus 2. Divide by 2. Y equals negative 5/2 x plus 1. The only element I need from here is the slope. So for line number 2, what I know, I'm sorry about wiggling the camera, I'm given the ordered pair 0, 6. I need a perpendicular slope to that. If this is negative 5/2, opposite would be positive, reciprocal 2/5. I'm going to start with point slope form because I have a point and I have the slope. Filling in my x and my y, point slope is done. From there, I will go to slope intercept form. To do that, I'll simply distribute minus 0 or plus 0, doesn't really matter. Add 6 to both sides. Y equals 2/5 x plus 6. Because we need to be experts at it, we're going to proceed on to standard form, which remember is ax plus by equals c. So from here I will subtract 2/5 x, negative 2/5 x plus y equals 6. A may not be negative, nor may it be a fraction. So I will multiply this equation by negative 5. Distribute to everything. 2x minus 5y equals negative 30. Again, if you want to take a moment, re-watch this, that would be amazing. And then I'm going to ask you to complete the next page.